One of my favorite sayings when it comes to working with teams is that people who like to dream and people who like to execute are rarely on the same page. We can see this in the microcosm of an individual team or even on the grand scale of an entire organization. So, what do we mean by the saying people who like to dream and people who like to execute are rarely on the same page? Well, the people that I've seen describe this best are Pat Lencioni and his team at the Table Group, who have defined a model called the working genius. They outline 6 parts of work that begin in wonder, asking the right questions, invention, coming up with new ideas, discernment, listening and deciding which of those ideas are best, galvanizing, getting everybody on the same page and moving in the same direction, enablement, jumping in to help, and tenacity, accomplishing tasks and checking off the list. When we outline the stages of work this way, you can see clearly that all of those are necessary. But what happens so often is that people who are at the beginning of that process in the wonder and invention space, and the people who are at the end of that process in the enablement and tenacity space, they don't speak the same language and they start to talk past each other. What makes it worse is a lot of people that get put in leadership positions are often on that beginning end in wonder and invention. And they come up with big, grand ideas and make big promises. And then the people who are left to get the job done are on the lower end of that spectrum at enablement and tenacity. And so when they don't understand what their leaders are saying, or if their values are at cross purposes, they can begin to have friction and tension and fail to work together well. So it's critical that the people who like to dream work to understand the people who like to execute. And the people who like to execute have patience for the people who are dreaming. Because really, when we can work across all of our geniuses and start to pull in the same direction, what we find is that we can leverage all of our gifts for a better future. I'm going to be talking about this more in a few videos, and so I hope you'll follow along as I talk about how we can make sure that people who like to dream and people who like to execute can stay on the same page.